Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426 and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive HG Genoace II Custom. Now once again, it has been a long time since I reviewed an Age kit, and once again, for those who don't know, I absolutely love the Age series and their kits, which is why I did collect a good amount of them. Now I haven't collected every 100% of it, but I collected a good amount. So the Genoace II Custom, not only myself, but I'm pretty sure any hardcore Age fans has been waiting for this kit for a long time. Some people already made their own version by making customs, yada yada. But it's really interesting to see now Bandai is actually making their move on this one as well. Alright, so before we go on to the review, we're going to go with our usual checking components. But even before that, I want to give you guys a quick lesson. It's been a long time, it's been years, and I'm pretty sure there are still newcomers out there who hasn't watched Age because of the overall rumors or the so-called the bandwagon that pretty much ruined your chances of getting more kits from the series, especially on the mass grade side. Alright, so a quick Gundam Age lesson. Now, back in Gundam Age, in the main series, the first season, there was the Genoace, the Genoace. This was basically the main mass production type mobile suit that was used in the main series by the Earth Federation forces in the series. It was considered one of the more weaker types compared to the enemy units, the Vegans. This thing could not even take down a single unit with its base weapons, which was a typical beam gun, and instead of a beam saber they had these things called a heat stick, which was basically a small stick that could heat up and then you would poke the enemies. So I would consider this more like it was for military purpose, but its performance or power was more like for police forces, because it was made in peaceful times. But once again, overall in the series, they kept improving it more and more so that it could fight Vegan units. And later in Age 2 it became the Genoace II, which it had a better rifle, which was a Dot's gun, which could actually now take down Vegan mobile suits, and now uses a beam saber as well. Of course, before this came out, there was in the middle there was the Genoace Custom used by Wolf Eniako. This was basically the same. Now this was a white Genoace, basically a white Genoace 2 kit-wise, but this came out first. This was a custom built Genoace for a specific ace pilot. His weapons were still the same. It would still have the heat stick on it and a beam gun, but it also has this cool looking knife that could attach to the gun as well. And I think this guy also came with a paint gun because of a certain episode going on here. So obviously the Genoace 2 was actually based on this guy's technology, so later that. And then finally in the Age 3, Season 3, there was a character named Albright Lorraine, and he basically became a veteran pilot after the second season, and now uses this another custom type mobile suit called the Genoace II Custom. Now you can see it's in blue colors. Now even the Genoace 2 also had a blue color called the Diva version, but it was never actually made as a product. Only the Adele that had a normal color and a Diva version, which was this color, existed. So just wanted to point that out. Of course, if you buy this guy, there is a chance that you could work something out, which I'll get into the leftover parts section. So hopefully this was a fun educational moment. But as you can see, I really enjoyed building the Age kits. Of course, at the time, my first time trying them, I had some doubts, but once again, after trying more and more, it was definitely fun to build. Alright, so overall what you should be getting regularly from the kit is obviously you get the multi-purpose hands for left and right, you get its main beam dots gun rifle, and the shield that also contains the beam saber hilt as well. And then what you should be also getting regularly is 2 beam saber effect parts. It has been a long time since I've seen the short versions. I think they stopped using these at some point. And then you get an open hand for the left hand as well. And then because you get the beam saber handle, which is technically for this, but because it's also compatible, you still get the heat stick. But you won't. I'm pretty sure most of you won't be using this as well. And then you get the sticker sheet. Now most of the sticker sheet is meant for the head, but as you can see, I mostly didn't use all of them. And this one is for the rifle as well, and this is for the eyes behind the visor as well. These 3 are technically stickers, and it's most likely an option because the head has this clear part, and then they tell you to apply these stickers on a green clear part, which is already green. So it's your choice. Do you want the metallic flash, or you want the green, clear color there? So it's really up to you. I'll get into that later. And now let's talk about leftover parts, because there are some interesting factors going on here as well. Number one, you get some leftover polycaps, no big deal. And then you get these parts, which are meant for the arms/shoulders for the regular Genoace II. And then for some reason we get one extra leftover handguard, which I assume if this thing had another open hand for maybe for the other side, I assume you're going to be using that one. And then here are the leftover parts, which is kind of interesting. So number one, you get the blue regular Genoace II shoulder parts, okay? And then you also get the head of the regular Genoace II in blue without the visor part as well. And then 3, you get the backpack. So in theory, if you have some leftover parts let's say you buy a regular Genoace II, and then if you have this Premium Bandai set, you could technically make a Genoace II in diva colors. You're gonna need to get the thrusters from the regular Genoace II, and then the visor, the clear piece visor from the regular Genoace II, and then you should be able to make a regular Genoace II, because from here the only difference is A, the shoulder parts, and then B is the head. Other than that, everything should be the same. Of course, rifle should be a different one as well. So yeah, you don't get the regular DOTS rifle that's used by the Genoace II, but in general, if you have like leftover parts or have an extra Genoace II lying around and you have this, or maybe if you bought 2 of this, you can make a Genoace II diva colors, which I thought was kind of interesting. Or maybe this is just pretty much guaranteeing that, you know, Bandai has no plans on releasing it, maybe a Genoace II diva colors at this point, even as Premium Bandai. Alright, so let's get into articulation right away. So a quick comparison with the head. Here's the regular Genoace II. So obviously the Genoace II has a much more simple head. Now back then, on the regular Genoace II, the white section here you see on the head, that was supposed to be a sticker. You're supposed to apply a white sticker. I said no way I'm doing that, and I colored mine white. On this one, you can see there are these white parts on the cheeks area. Those are like extra sensors. Those are separate pieces. I am really glad that is the case. And then once again, those green stickers, you're supposed to put these here on these vent looking areas. Those are actually same color as there's this green clear piece that's inside the head, which protrudes there. So it's really up to you. Do you want to have a metallic green sticker applied there, or do you want to keep the clear piece? Same goes onto the back of the head. You can see there that place you're supposed to put a sticker, but it's still clear piece, so it's really up to your choice. So you can see there was a little bit change in the head design here for a specific custom mobile suit as well. And then I think the shoulders are pretty much self-explanatory. Alright, so for the articulation, should be the same as the Genoace II custom, so you still have the ball jointed connection arm, so it's going 360 as possible. You do get a nice range of a forward and backward shoulder joint movement as well, and then 360 on the arm is possible, and the connection for the shield is very firm. Now despite how it looks like it's just a single long peg here, but you connect there, which has a polycap inside. Although do be careful when you're plugging in and out the shield, because this is a long peg, and if you're not careful, if you wiggle it too much, you might bend or break that peg. So those 360s there, and because of the design here, you can go 90 degrees to the outside without no problem, and rotation here is still possible, and you do get a nice bend here. Now it's not a double jointed bend, but for what it is enough. 90 degrees or slightly more depending on how you look at it, so you're good to go, and your typical ball jointed hand. And oh yeah, I forgot, and age kits tend to have or some mobile suits tend to have this part where oops, sorry about that, you can move the wrist up and down a little bit. You can see there is another joint there. Now it still has the same issue as this part feeling not too loose, but it can come out a little bit easily. So there are some very easy fixes for that. So do that yourself. You can either apply like small glue there and then try rubbing it around so you get some more friction, or you can put like a small you wrap the ball joint with a small tissue paper and then plug it in for more, to make it more tighter so it doesn't fall off that easily. Alright, now for the head, it can go down, up not so much because of the connection and the design here, and 360 twist should be no problem as well. Now the white piece is a separate piece, so do be aware of that. And because it's still based on the Genoace chest, it's still the same chest going on here, you still have the ab crunch going on here as well, of course. Still has that issue where, because in there is also a polycap ball joint, so like you said, there is a white piece protruding there. I also use the tissue paper method to tighten up, because back then it was a little bit more easier to pop out, but now it's a little bit more improved. And because of the ball joint, 360 twist on the body is possible as well. Now the crotch area or waist area is still the same. You still have the side skirts that can go all the way up here, so no big deal. There is no back skirt, front skirt not existent, so going to the side 90 degrees still there. Forward, not so much because of the design of the size. Very thick size going on here, so that's that. Going back is also still possible, and then bend wise you still get a very nice bend. Now the legs or size may not be for everyone because it's a very simple looking design here, so yeah. And then the feet, once again, has the amazing pivot joint right over here, so it can go either side. Going forward and backward is still possible, and it's a single piece feet, so you shouldn't have too big deals of making this stand on its own. Because there are some designs out there for the feet, it can make it very tricky to make them stand on their own. And looking at the back here, which are the new parts, like the shoulder parts, no big deal here. You just assemble this, snap two pieces together, and then you slide this back part here. And the backpack is also different. The regular Genoace II actually uses a very standard looking backpack with actual thrusters, a typical looking thrusters. This one now uses like something from that he slapped on or stole from like the clanche as well. Now, overall, like there are a lot of good aspects of the clanche design, but it's not the same parts they just brought from the kit and then slapped on here. That's not really possible. Even the rifle, it may look like the one that used by the clanches, but no, it's actually a different design, and it's shorter and a different style build. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the unit. I think there's only one thing left to show, and it's to show a demonstration of all its equipment, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, just to show a certain pose on a single mobile suit may seem a little bit boring, so I brought out all the mass production types of of the gang or of the series, or that could be on the Diva as well. So I brought the Shadow custom, the mass production type version, and then we got the Adele Diva colors, the Genoace II, and now the Genoace O custom going on here. They really look good together because they are technically, they could be on the same ship together as well. So yeah, so overall, with all the poses, you should be able to pull off a good amount of posing going on here. Like I think like a lot of the kits from Age, they may seem simple or their color may be a little bit too colorful, but overall they had really good quality as well. And then articulation wise, like the arms, sure, they don't bend as much as other kits, but once again, they do get the job done. Now, one only tricky part with the O custom is that because of the shoulders design here, when you're moving the arm or rotating the arm, you're always going to be left with this part like facing in an awkward direction. So depending on your taste, this could feel a little bit awkward if you ask me. So every time I pose with this guy, so those shoulders do get in the way. And then finally, I forgot to mention on the shield here. Now the shield is like, it's not an ideal shield. If I had to choose the shield, I'd definitely go with the Adele or the Shadow Customs version going on here. So here is the shield. You can see there is a slot there. That is where the beam saber goes in. Now technically, it mentions to put it with the heat stick, but that's really unnecessary. So you slide it in. It's not the best fit going on here. If you push it in all the way in, it's just gonna slide out. So you just gotta like push it in and then stop at a certain point here. Come on. So yeah, sometimes you're going to need an extra tool for this. So you slide in. Now technically it goes from top to bottom, but either way, yeah, you can see if I pushed in a little bit too much and it just falls in. So you just need to find the right spot here, and then hopefully it just stays there. So yeah, this has been always a tricky part for me. So I think if you look at my other kits here, they may not be having this here. So there is like a sweet spot that does just get stuck in there. But yeah. So do be careful of that. Sometimes it can fall off. Sometimes it's gonna slide off really easily. So just be aware of this aspect. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the review. So anybody who really enjoys the Age kits and then who's been waiting for this specific unit, your dream has come true. Granted, sure, there are ways to make your own version or customize it, but overall, sometimes it's just good to have something that's already made for you, so that you just need to follow the instruction manuals, because not everybody is capable of customizing using resin or whatever that is needed. Anyway, if you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. This was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive HG Genoace O custom from the Gundam Age series. Once again, if you have any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.